Hey, welcome back to the Joe Peeps studio. And your host, me, Joe Peeps. This is episode number 8. And in this episode, we're going to be doing bee stuff. That's right, I said bee stuff, and I realize it's January. But we got a little bit of a problem out in the yard we need to address. And I'm going to take you along with me. But before we do that, I got a question for you. How'd you like episode 6 and 7? Cool stuff, right? Cool. I just find that camera amazing. I really do. I really do. Technology. Weird and wacky stuff. Hey-o! Ed McMahon. Johnny Carson? Some of you know, some of you don't. But anyway, let's get out there in the yard and take care of business. Okay, here we are at hive number 3. Basically, a couple of weeks ago when the weather was warm, I actually walked around the yard and I cracked the lids on all my hives just to take a peek to see what was going on. And naturally, I stumbled across this guy. This guy's dead. This is a dead out. Basically, all the bees have died and they're just sitting on the bottom of the hive. So we got to get in there and clean it out. I want to do that because I want to actually salvage the frames so I can use them this season coming up. The quick story with this one was I actually got this as a package last year, and I worked at actually making another hive. That hive became hive number 6 in the yard. And I did what I was supposed to do all summer long with them. Winter, I prepared them, I did my treatments, and hive number 6 wound up failing back in, I believe it was November. So, who knows? Was it genetics, bad queens on this particular line of bees? I don't know. Was it my fault? Who knows? But, you know, it always bothers me when I lose a hive because, you know what? Number one, to go out and buy bees, they're expensive. They're not as cheap as they were when I first started out. And second of all, you know, naturally they're a living organism, and now they're dead. So I'm not a big fan of killing stuff. So let's get into this one. Let's clean it out. I'll set up the camera so you guys can see what's going on and what you really see when you actually break into a hive that wind up failing. And actually we'll look at it. Maybe we'll find out exactly why they died. So we'll see. All right, so let me set it up. Okay, here we go. Basically, we use the strap to keep the lid on the hive so it doesn't blow off. Protect from critters not popping the lid. This white stuff, I actually had fondant on it. And when I had checked and found out it was a dead out, I actually cleaned it up. Got it out of there. So let's see what we got here. Still like just a little bit of nectar in there. This stuff here, this was a pollen patty, a little bit of a pollen patty I wound up leaving on there. They ate a little bit of it, not too much. So basically what we have here is that from what I see so far, there is no stores that were left over, no stores of honey. Oh, there was some nectar in here, just very little. This one actually became a little moldy. I don't know if you could see it. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to use all these frames again because this is really good. There's a little bit more nectar left over here. Very little, not much. No honey. I guess they didn't have the time to actually make it into honey. But let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so basically what we want to do is we want to salvage these frames so I can use them in the spring. This way the bees that I get, or the splits that I make, this way they don't have to use so much resources up to make those wax. So Hang on a second. Let me get my tool. What I'm taking off here is I actually put tape around, insulation tape, just on the seams to protect it from the wind. So let's get down to that bottom box to see what the story is. All right, let me see. Basically, what I see is that the bees wound up dying. Some of them actually wound up dying on the frames. So what I'm getting here is that, you know, they certainly didn't have enough food to get them through winter. But from the looks of it, I don't know if it was starvation or basically there wasn't enough bees to keep warm. By the looks of it, they say when bees are in head first, it's basically because they were hungry. But from the looks of it, I don't know. They might have died because they weren't warm enough. But I don't see anybody all clustered up. Let's go to the next frame. There's a little honey. Here's this. This is capped honey. The queen in here was not marked, so I don't know if we'll be able to find her or not. As you can see the bottom, you can see all the dead bees down here. These are all dead bees. What a shame. I hate seeing this. I really do. It bothers me. It bothers me. Hey, look, it just looks like these guys were eating and just the cold probably got to them. That's what I think. I think at this particular moment, I mean, naturally, it doesn't look like they had enough stores to get them through the winter, but I think the cold got to them. Yep. I think this year I'm going to do something with these boxes anyway. Maybe try something different out. But what I'll do is basically I'll clean all these off and I'll reuse these frames again. This way the bees that we do get won't have to work so hard making wax. So I mean, all this is still good. You can still use it. You give it back to them, they'll clean it up. So let's see. Let's give this a quick look. I know the queen wasn't marked, but who knows? Sometimes you can find them. Sometimes you can't. And I believe we found her already. I believe this is my queen. That was pretty quick, right? So, what a shame. What a shame. All right, so there you go. This is what a dead out looks like. I'll clean this all up. What I'll do is then I'll take these frames and I'll actually put them in the freezer again. I know it's going to get cold here, but I'd rather just put them in the deep freeze until I'm ready to use them. This way anything that's in them that's maybe just lingering will die. But there you go. There you have it. This is what a dead out looks like. Man, there was a lot of bees in here too. I just don't know. maybe I'll tell you exactly what happened. They probably didn't have enough food, and as some of them started to die, as it got colder, they weren't able to actually heat up the hive, or heat up the cluster. And there you go. There you have it. Always sad, but hey, but the reality of it is they're just bugs in a box. All right, that's it. On that note, Joe Peeps out.